Hello and welcome to the Intermittent Fasting Benefits video. Today I want to talk to you about all things fasting, but specifically intermittent fasting. So firstly, what is fasting? Well, fasting has been around for thousands of years and many millions of people participate in fasting events throughout the year, and fasting traditions are quite prevalent amongst religious communities. Fasting is essentially abstaining from any food or drink for a period of time, generally considered hours or days. A fasting period could be anywhere between a 10, 12, 16 or even a 24-hour period in a day. There are other types of fasts as well, such as prolonged fasts, where you might fast for a longer period of time or multiple days with no food or no water, or different types of fasts where you just consume water but no calories. What I'm going to be talking about today is intermittent fasting. One of the things I like about intermittent fasting is it gives you a structure to place your meals around. Meaning the idea of it is really simple to follow. You just consume food within your feasting window and you don't consume any food outside of your feasting window. For most people, intermittent fasting is very personal, so the amount of hours that you fast for is totally up to you. If people do want to try fast, I generally recommend them not eating food for 16 to 20 hours a day. Now it may sound like a lot, but you can still get a lot of food in. Fasting and intermittent fasting in general help the body to create a calorie deficit, which means the amount of calories in is less than the amount of calories you're expending. This will generally result in a reduction in body weight and body fat, as those expended calories will have to come from somewhere and your body utilises body fat stores to keep the body running. I myself have done fasting for many years now and find it really enjoyable, but it can be a little bit tricky for beginners, especially if you're used to eating 3 or 4 or even 5 meals a day. One little top tip I always recommend people with intermittent fasting is try and eat your meals throughout the middle of the day. Generally, when we wake up, we can go a couple of hours without eating. So say you get your first meal in at midday. You could have your normal foods and your breakfast, and then a couple of hours later, you could have another meal. And then getting closer to late afternoon, you could have your dinner. So you could still have your traditional 3 meals a day, but in a more condensed eating period. Generally, because we've got a more refined eating period, people eat less within those times, helping to create a calorie deficit and reduce body fat over time. You can think of intermittent fasting as just skipping breakfast and just having 1 or 2 meals later in the day, helping to consume less calories but also give you that rigid structure that makes you feel full and satiated. The idea when it comes to losing body fat and intermittent fasting is that we utilize more of our calories from our body fat because we're in a fasted state. The more food and calories we have, the easier it is for that body to break it down into glycogen and to use that for energy. What we want to do is utilize our body fat for energy. One of the best ways to do that is to create a calorie deficit within the structure of intermittent fasting. But that's not the only benefits of intermittent fasting. I know for myself and a lot of my clients and people on Lean 60 over the years have had incredible results with intermittent fasting. And a lot of them still use that structure of eating as a way of maintaining control with their diet and the amount of calories they're consuming. So here's some more benefits of intermittent fasting. Number 1, can help change hormones, cells and genes. When you go for a prolonged period of time without eating, lots of things start to happen within the body. One of the things that happens is your body changes your hormonal levels to make stored body fat readily available. It can also initiate important cellular repair processes. One of the things that can happen is that your blood insulin levels will drop significantly, which helps to facilitate fat burning. Another one is that your human growth hormone levels in the blood increase dramatically. And high levels of human growth hormone help facilitate fat burning and muscle gain. And they also have numerous other benefits as well. Once you get into a fasted state, the body also introduces cellular repair processes, helping to create autophagy and remove waste products from cells. And autophagy is super important when it comes to your long-term health and longevity. A lot of these changes are down to hormone function and gene expression. So basically, when you fast, your insulin levels within the body drop significantly, whilst at the same time, your human growth hormone massively increases, and your cells start to initiate cellular repair. Number 2, can help you lose weight and visceral fat. Like I said before, generally speaking, intermittent fasting will make you eat fewer meals. Now, depending on the calorie density of those meals will depend on your overall energy balance. The amount of calories you consume to the amount of calories you burn. By reducing one meal, you're going to be consuming a lot less calories. Low insulin levels and high human growth hormone levels increase the production of norepinephrine, which increases the breakdown of body fat to help use it as energy. So in other words, intermittent fasting can work on both sides of the calorie equation. It can boost your metabolism and the amount of calories you burn, whilst also decreasing the amount of calories you consume. According to a 2014 review on the scientific literature of intermittent fasting can cause weight loss of 3 to 8% over the course of 3 to 24 weeks. This is generally considered a huge amount within the industry. It also found that the study participants lost 4 to 7% of their waist circumference over 6 to 24 weeks, which helps to indicate that they lost visceral fat. And visceral fat is especially dangerous and harmful body fat that's stored in the abdominal cavity, and at high levels can cause long-term disease. In another literature review in 2011, papers showed that intermittent fasting caused less muscle loss than traditional calorie restriction. Number 3, can help reduce insulin resistance and lower your risk of getting type 2 diabetes. In the last decade, type 2 diabetes has become super common. The main reason people get it is because of higher blood sugar levels within the context of insulin resistance. Anything that helps reduce insulin resistance should help lower blood sugar levels and then should also protect against type 2 diabetes. Interestingly, intermittent fasting has been shown to have major health benefits when it comes to insulin resistance, helping to lead to a reduction in overall blood sugar levels. Number 4, can help reduce oxidative stress and inflammation within the body. Oxidative stress is one of the steps towards aging and chronic disease. It involves unstable molecules called free radicals that interact with other important molecules such as protein and DNA. It then also damages them. Several studies have shown that intermittent fasting can enhance the body's resistance to oxidative stress. Additionally, other studies have also shown that intermittent fasting can also help fight against inflammation, which is another key driver of chronic diseases. Number 5, may be beneficial for your heart health. Heart disease is currently the world's biggest killer, and it's well documented that certain risk factors are associated with an increase or a decrease in heart disease. And studies of intermittent fasting have shown that they can improve numerous risk factors when it comes to heart disease, such as blood pressure and cholesterol, triglycerides, and inflammatory markers. Number 6, it induces cellular repair processes. When we fast, cells in the body initiate cellular waste removal, and this process is called autophagy. This involves cells breaking down and metabolizing broken and dysfunctional proteins that build up inside cells over time. Increased autophagy may provide protection against several diseases, including cancer. Number 7, may help to prevent cancer. Cancer is categorized as uncontrolled growth of cells. Fasting has been shown to have several beneficial effects on metabolism that may lead to a reduced cancer risk. It's also been shown in studies that fasting can have a tremendous effect on patients that have just done chemotherapy and improve their recovery times and their side effects. Number 8, has benefits for the brain. What's good for the body is also generally good for the brain. Intermittent fasting improves various metabolic features that are well known to improve brain health. Intermittent fasting helps reduce oxidative stress and inflammation, as well as blood sugar levels and insulin resistance. And fasting has also been shown to increase a brain hormone called BDNF. And a BDNF deficiency has been associated with other brain problems and depression. Number 9, may help prevent Alzheimer's. There's no cure for Alzheimer's currently, but one of the best things you can do is to prevent it from coming in the first place. Intermittent fasting in animal studies has been shown to delay the onset of Alzheimer's and also reduce its severity. Also, a lifestyle intervention study also showed that you can improve the symptoms of Alzheimer's in 9 out of 10 people that they used in the study. Number 10, may improve your lifespan and help you live longer. One of the most exciting applications of intermittent fasting is that it may be able to help you live longer. In repeated animal studies, intermittent fasting is shown to improve lifespan of mice and fruit flies, and it seemed to have a more profound effect the older the animals got. Also, around the world where people live the longest are called blue zones. Blue zones have been studied extensively throughout the world. For what is the secret that these people do to help them live longer? One of the things that they found is that a lot of these blue zones, people consume a lot less calories than their counterparts in the Western world. And even in more groups that are more westernized, keeping a lower overall calorie intake was associated with better overall mortality and longevity improvements. It was also associated with lower levels of overall body fat and higher levels of overall daily exercise. So if you're on the fence about intermittent fasting, why not give it a go? Even if you have an 8-hour eating window to begin with and then a 16-hour fasting period, it's a great way to initiate yourself into the world of intermittent fasting. Then over time, if you feel more confident, you can reduce your eating window and increase your fasted window. A lot of people also make this fit in with their family life and find that they have more time because they're not eating as many meals. It also helps to give them structure in their life because they know that they're not going to eat past a certain point. It does take a little bit of self-discipline at the start, but over time you may find some huge benefits. Hopefully this video has been insightful, and I'll see you soon.